Okay, I see a few people are starting to join. We're going to wait for a few more minutes for everyone to join, and we're going to get started with the webinar at about 5:03. People are joining in. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started real soon. It's great for you to join us today. We're going to talk about how to protect your research data, how to mitigate vendor risks in all of your laboratory software selection, but especially for when you're selecting LIMS ELN software, which is our area of expertise. I'm here today with Mark Almeida Cardi, our head of security and compliance, and also our CTO, Micha Mencin. They're going to share some great tips with you all in about a minute. So just give everyone else time to join. So can everyone see the slides okay? Can you raise a hand if you can't see the slides? Working okay? Should we get started? Oh, okay, let me see. Okay, yeah, you can see the slides. That's great. Thank you for letting me know. Let's get started then. So good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Welcome to our presentation on how to mitigate vendor risks in laboratory software selection. I'm Alea from the SciNote marketing team, and I'm going to just be kicking things off today and also wrapping it up in the end. And with me are, as I mentioned, Mark Almeida Cardi, our head of security and compliance, and also Micha Mencin, our chief technology officer, And together we're going to walk you through the critical or lore role of supply chain security in safeguarding your R&D investments, and also show you how SciNote is taking those security measures very seriously. And with that, I'm going to hand over the presentation to Mark and Iha. Good luck, guys.
Okay. A big thank you to Alea for the introduction, and I'd just like to say welcome to our guests here today. So let's dive into it. Right. So we'll start by with the why supply chain attacks. So supply chain security is essential, and look at the strategic value of your R&D data, what supply chain attacks look like, and their impact on your investments. And next, we're going to dive into what industry frameworks such as ISO, SOC 2, and then even standards like NIST offer. And then we'll move across to the how you can validate vendors effectively, including best practices and SciNote's security first approach. Great. So R&D data is really the backbone of innovation, as you guys know. It fuels breakthroughs and keeps your organizations ahead of competition, but it's also a prime target. The data represents years of intellectual effort, significant financial investment. In fact, sectors hit by supply chain disruptions faced a predicted average of annual losses of up to $82 million per organization. And that's a huge risk to stability and innovation. Electronic Lab Notebook, otherwise known as an ELN, it not only helps you manage the critical data, but also protects it with top-tier security, reducing those risks and enhancing your research outcomes. SciNote understands this value and offering its Electronic Lab Notebook ELN to safeguard your research. So, what's a supply chain attack? It's when attackers target vulnerabilities in third-party software or even vendors to breach your systems. And the stats really do tell a stark story today. Supply chain breaches jumped 25% between 2023 and 2024. And that's an average of just over 4 incidents per organization. Here in the UK, 96% of major companies face breaches via third-party ecosystems. And globally, it's 82% of software supply chains were hit by cyber attacks in just last year alone. We've seen high-profile incidents like the XZ utility backdoor, the MoveIt transfer breach, CrowdStrike IT outage that affected global travel last year, and even open source attacks on PyPy packages. And they're all highlighting very great sophistication in these threats. SciNote's protective security measures are designed to address these growing threats, and we're very focused on that. So the fallout from supply chain vulnerabilities can be really devastating. Data breaches expose your sensitive R&D information and intellectual property, causing project delays, revenue losses, and even reduced funding. They also erode trust with collaborators and invite regulatory scrutiny as well. Financially, it's a massive hit. Global cybercrime cost Germany firms nearly $298 billion last year alone. That was up 29% from the year before. As I say, cases like SolarWinds and MoveIT do show how widespread damage can be. And SciNote's security-first design minimizes these risks, keeping your R&D investment safe and your research on track. Do the next slide, please, Alaya. Great, thank you. So let's shift across to the tools that we're using to manage these risks. And we'll start by discussing security standards and frameworks. So, these are structured guidelines that help mitigate cybersecurity threats. For instance, ISO 27001 certifies a systematic approach to securing sensitive data. SOC 2 ensures that audit of controls for security, availability, confidentiality, and NIST 853 and even 800-161 offer comprehensive set of security controls, originally for federal systems, but now widely adopted. These standards do provide a solid foundation for securing your supply chain. But they do fall short, is the reality. ISO 27001 gives you a repeatable process for data security. SOC 2 provides audit assurance of key practices. And as I said, NIST offers a broad catalog of controls for diverse threats, but they're not perfect by any means. They're often point-in-time assessments, not reflecting your current state of security posture. They may not cover your needs of emerging threats like AI-driven attacks that we're seeing more often, and they really do lack real-time adaptability. So here at SciNote, we believe a more proactive approach is needed, and SciNote does that by filling the gap. So to strengthen vendor selection, we recommend 4 phases of validation. First, we deal with preparation. We sit down and we identify all the risks and the security needs that we may have with a vendor, and we expect customers to do it to us as your vendor. Secondly, we'll evaluate and assess a wide number of vendors against those standards and metrics that we have defined in that first phase. Thirdly, we'll try to build in security into our agreements with our vendors. And fourthly, ongoing management, continuous monitoring for our vendors. It's highly important. So SciNote supports this every step of the way as you look at us as your vendor. Our trust portal, for example, provides audit reports for evaluation, real-time updates for ongoing management, ensuring your supply chains stay secure. Now, with that, I'm going to hand over to our CTO, Miha Mitchin, who's going to dig into our vendor validation process for us. Miha?
Yeah, I needed to unmute myself. Thank you, Mark. What I wanted to state today, is like one of the primary attributes of the supply chain is it's a chain. So it would be worth nothing that we have a webinar today and we don't live what we preach, right? So it means, what this means is that we are doing what Mark said before. So what we are doing is what you should be doing, and it's again what our vendors, finance vendors, should be doing. Only in this way, you have a continuously security and compliance throughout all of the chain. So again, it's worth nothing if you have a very strong selection process, if SciNote doesn't have it. So what we do is what many security standards force us to do on one way, and we see many benefits in these processes. So we are evaluating each vendor we have. So we have been and this is quite a diligent process, like from the photocopier vendors to AWS. So we do check like what kind of data this vendor is having access to. How critical is this data? How confident is this data? And this is how we then assess the risk that this vendor is showing, that this vendor is carrying. If we identify the risk, we we come up with a strategy. We define a strategy how to mitigate that risk. So if we find a vendor that is that doesn't have, let's say, the standards Mark was mentioning, either ISO or SOC 2 or HIPAA, we say we won't save the data that is important, that carries, you know, which is confidential. This is a vendor we won't use, or we will use it for some other purposes. And this is what these checks are ongoing. So I do have like few calendar events each quarter where we go, like either development team, either our IT team, we go to the vendors, we recheck if something has changed, if the data we're saving with that vendor has changed, is that vendor still needed, and stuff like that. Next slide, please. So this is a bit development specific, but I think it needs to be said just to show like that this is really our commitment. So we are doing this with the same thing with vendors as we do with you know development libraries, the development tools we're using. So we're evaluating each library we're using. We're checking if each library needs to be updated, if the privacy terms has to change for the development library. How adopted is this library in the wider industry space we're living in? And we go even a step further. So we're checking ourselves. So the development team do have this notion of peer review of the code. It has notion of penetration testing each year. So like we are not only adhering to the standards, like we are doing more. We're trying to identify where is the room for improvement, like with each development meeting, with each sprint planning, which is planning of the development. We also monitor our code with the automated tools. We are also monitoring our infrastructure with several different monitoring tools, each of them, you know, checking their own part and checking even themselves in between. So one monitoring tool is monitoring the other monitoring tool. Can you go to the next slide, please? So what we are aware of, like from when we started this project, the SciNote project, is we're not only offering the tool. This is what Mark said. So we're not only offering a tool that helps you with your processes in labs. We're also offering a data storage, and so this was even before we were thinking about the standards we're now implementing. Even way before that, we were thinking, so it's important, like this data should be available, this data should be secure, like data should be private. So the whole ecosystem of SciNote, the whole infrastructure is built around these three principles. So clients are not able to see each other's data. They're separated on logical or on database levels. Clients should have their data encrypted in as well, like data addressed, data in transit, like both of them are encrypted. Even the data inside the AWS, which is our infrastructure provider, is encrypted when going from one part or one service to the other. And knowing what we need, like knowing what we want, knowing what our processes we should be following, we also can feel our clients' pain. So the processes I was describing for ourselves, we know like these are the validations, the compliance is also happening with our clients. And because we went like through very similar processes that our clients going through, like we are quite able, like quite we do have experience with going through compliance processes, so we understand your pains, so we can help you with that. And if we don't have experience with something, we know the area or greater idea you're going through. So furthermore, like we are constantly monitoring the threats that are you know they're appearing worldwide. Like we are following all the important updates, important alerts that are appearing every day, and we are reacting to them. So it's if there is a threat, like the development team knows it because they get the alerts on their email, Slack channels, and so on. Can go to the next slide. Thank you. So these are just like these are the few of the product features that will help you to prevent what Mark was describing before, to help you to prevent attack on your supply chain. So these are like we do see this all of these as a very hygienic stuff that every modern product needs. So, and if you're missing something anywhere here, like please, we are very open to have a very honest conversation about why is something not there and what are the plans to get some of the features in. I would like to mention there are more security features in SciNote itself as a product. And yes, please, we are quite eager to have a conversation about them. With this, I hope not too salesy talk. I will give the word back to Mark.
Thanks, Mia. Yeah, and I'd like to say I'm very proud to say that security is not an add-on for SciNote. It is truly a foundation of things we do. It's in every discussion, a consideration of security at every level, whether it's change or feature requests, or code reviews. We very, very focused on that. So as Mia has discussed here today, our ELN features end-to-end encryption, secure cloud storage, proactive threat hunting. Beyond the technology, security really is woven into our culture as an organization through regular training and transparent policies. And we invite rigorous audit to be able to test where we are. This can be done in our trust portal, as we've discussed. There'll be a URL towards the end of the presentation. And the trust portal lets you see it all. We've got detailed security protocols and audit results at your fingertips. You, as our customers, are invited along to come and use search terms in there against our knowledge base to understand how we do things. And as Miha said, we do invite further conversation because we are all in the supply chain together. We are your suppliers, and we have to test our own suppliers. And that shouldn't mean that we can't help one another to, enforce common practices that we are using to secure the supply chain. So with that, let's tie it all together. R&D data, it's too valuable to leave unprotected, and it needs more than just basic management or standards management provided by frameworks and standards that are provided today. We have to have that extra effort looking at emerging threats and asking pressing questions of our vendors in relation to the emerging threats going on today. Supply chain attacks are rising in frequency and cost. It's a fact. And proactive, risk-driven approach with continuous monitoring. Transparency is non-negotiable. We truly believe that here, and we invite you as our customers to test us and make sure we're being a good vendor for you. So SciNote ELN delivers this with a security-first design and integrates that with best practices. And our commitment is to be transparent. Tools like the Trust Portal ensures that you can trust us to protect your data within the labs. And with that, I'd like to thank you and hand you back to Alea for some closing words, and appreciate your thanks.
Actually, I was thinking, since we still have a little time, Mark, do you think we could walk them through the trust portal a little bit, show them what we have going on, and introduce them what it does, what they can find there?
Yeah, you have caught me slightly off guard, but I'm sure I can. I'm sure I can pull that out. Do you want to pop to the next slide there, Alea, and then
Yeah, for sure.
I'll do that.
Yeah, so we'll come back to this. I just think we could quickly give a little demonstration of that as well, since we still have a few minutes. We were quite efficient with time today, so I think it could be interesting to present this a little. Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. If you have more questions, reach out to us. We will also send you all of these resources after the webinar, so no worries if you didn't catch anything. You will be getting everything you need. So yeah.
I'm nearly ready. I'm nearly ready.
Awesome.
I will just do a quick present request.
Yes,
At the
there you
moment.
go. And let me also stop sharing. So
We can test now Mark's improvisation skills, right?
yes.
Absolutely. Okay, I believe this is the correct tab.
Could you share again? Actually, I think
I
it.
haven't shared yet. I'm just about to go now.
Oh, wait, actually, yeah, working.
Okay. Great. So this is not the Trust Center. This is our website. But from the website, you can actually get to the SciNote Trust Center. Or alternatively, you can just simply type trust.scinote.net, and that will take you to the right location. So here we have our Trust Center. This is based on a very well developed product by a company called SafeBase, which has just been acquired by Drata. So highly secure, optimal. LinkedIn used this system, so we've decided to adopt it ourselves. This integrates with our CRM on the backside, so we can understand, our sales pipeline. But more to the point, what does it provide you? It provides you with detailed cards. Now, as a standard user, it's fairly limited access. It's going to ask you to register and request access first and foremost. And the reason for that is any good security practice, we will share information that has been classified at the right data classification level and under the right controlled conditions. And in that case, it's an NDA. So by requesting access, you'll be prompted through a click wrap NDA. Once accepted, you'll then be granted access to the portal. And what I can actually do is just pull up another version of this tab briefly and show you exactly that. Bear with me. So once you really are getting a showcase today, so this would normally be, so this would be your authenticated view. Now from here, we can really look at what certifications that SciNote has. Anything with a green tick is now certified with us. We click on it, the tab, and then here you can actually view things like our certificate and the issuing date. And in some cases, you can download the documentation. Also, you may be asking what is the SOA in relation to the ISO certificate. That is also available on here. In fact, there it is there, the statement of applicability. For those that are unfamiliar with ISO, you get certified on the ISO controls that are applicable to your organization. So while an organization may have a certificate, it's only really understood the scope of the application of that certificate when you look at the SOA. It's very important to do so. And in our case, we have minimal controls that are not applicable to us, and they are mainly around the presence of a physical data center which we do not have as we are a cloud native application. Additionally to this, one of the other top rating items we tend to see in here are reports, so pen testing reports. Again, we make that available every year. It's in here. Customers can access the report, review an executive summary, which has a statement from our CTO and myself about how we dealt with findings. And then we not only provide our executive summary, but we provide the report that was done by the third-party assessment also.
Mark, sorry to interrupt, but it seems like this pop-up for the login is on the screen the whole time. Do you see it as well?
Oh, really? Are you not actually seeing? See, there we are. So the improvisation has failed me. Bear with me. So I may have to go through that again. Has that changed at all?
It has.
It has. Okay. So I'll cover that very briefly. So we are essentially logged in and authenticated now, signed an NDA as a customer. So we can click on things like these icons and be presented with our certificate. You can view that here. And then things like, as I was saying about the statement of applicability, the SOA, again, that is available here and viewable. And then the pen testing report also, we can scroll down here and we can see, pen testing report and access that. So that's very high level access to artifacts. Artifacts come in the way of our certifications, our third-party assessment reports, or even our information security policies. This will take us to our actual policy that we use internally as an organization. We post all of those to the Trust Portal. In a limited fashion, some information has been redacted to obviously meet that data classification summary that we have. All of this information is available to all of our customers to review. And then additionally, you can subscribe to any updates here also, and through any incidents that we have will go out through our ticketing communications. If you're affected as a customer, you'll be notified, but we'll also post our updates here through our Trust Center, and you can also report issues in here as well. Hopefully that does it. Alea, what do you think? Is that enough?
Yes, thank you very much. I think this was very informative and should help you, everyone, to make the portal a bit more accessible to them, to know what they're looking for and where they can find it. So thanks. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I hope so. This is I don't know how much practice is that, but I think by putting up the penetration testing report is showing our commitment to our transparency. This is usually this is something, when you have results of pen tests, there is a bit of an embarrassment there. But what we want to show, with not just pen tests, but with many different documents, is that yes, we do have mistakes, but we are confident enough to show them because we have already fixed them in the past. So this is, I think this is a great showcase of what Mark was mentioning before. It's living the security. It's something coming from inside out, not from outside in.
Absolutely. And to wrap up as well, Alea, I'm sure, not to steal your thunder, Alea, but we've prepared an artifact when we talk about going beyond the recommendations within security frameworks, checking emerging threats and developing additional questions above and beyond. That practice we do here. As threats change, we adapt the additional above and beyond questions that we ask of our vendors, and we are happy to share that as an artifact to the attendees from today's call. Please feel free to take that. Maybe you can send it back to us and ask those questions of us. because they are relevant to today and they are not in any way covered by the frameworks that are out there today. So it's very important to be adaptive when we're discussing with our vendors.
Okay. Thank you, Mark, for that. I see that somebody wants to see the change management policy that we showed on a slide. I think this is all accessible in the Trust portal, right? We're gonna send everyone the link to the Trust portal after, and you will be able to access all of these policies with no problem. So yeah, I think we made really good time today. I hope you found our session useful. Definitely, we want to talk to you more about this. So reach out to us at Premium at SciNote, and we can get you private consultations with Mark or Micha to discuss your security questions a bit further and more in depth. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. Have a great rest of the day and enjoy the rest of the hour that you get back from us being so efficient. Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.